What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and an unboxing of a movie that just had its 15th year anniversary, and it came out yesterday, Deadgirl, from 2008. Let's check it out.
It's party time, yeah! These evil people have just got to be stopped.
It's Voidtober! So yeah, Deadgirl just came out from Unearthed. MVD Entertainment sent me a copy to review. Thank you so much, MVD Entertainment and Unearthed, for sending this on out to me. I am excited to talk about this because this is a movie that is it's weird because a lot of people love this movie and a lot of people are so disgusted by this movie. It is kind of a shock movie, but I also think it's also kind of like a really indie genius film. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I think about this movie, and then I'm going to tell you all the ingredients in this 5th anniversary unboxing, so it'll tell you everything that's in the disc and all the details on that after I do my review. So let's get into it. So what is Deadgirl all about? Well, it's about two very well-adjusted young boys named Ricky and JT. They decide that life has been a little difficult for them, so they've bonded together over some of the hardships that they've had with life and the people around them, and have bonded together in this union until one day a beautiful woman comes and disturbs that union. That's right, a love triangle forms between them and a corpse.
We could keep her.
Whoa.
No, I'm not joking. So essentially, it's about two high school boys who discover an imprisoned corpse, a dead woman, in an abandoned mental asylum who cannot die. So she's between life and death. And then one day, JT, the edgelord that he is, decides that, hey, maybe we should fuck it. And so begins the wondrous journey of Deadgirl. So this is a movie that was directed by Marcel Sarmiento, who did the movie Totem and Faceless, and Gadi Harrell, who did one other movie that I have not seen yet. Now this is by the famous writer Trent Haga, who was a Trauma alumni, who worked on movies like Terror Firmer and Citizen Toxic Avenger 4. He's worked on the Evil Within games. He did a very underrated movie that he directed and wrote called 68 Kill, which I own, is really good. He wrote for Girl on the Third Floor, and another movie called Hazard that was at the After Dark Film Festival last year that I went and watched. Hasn't made it to the States yet, but it's about a guy, his car, and a security guard that fucks the shit out of the tailpipe. He's got some pretty interesting ideas. He also did the movie Mad Heidi. He wrote for that, which just came out here recently. But anyway, Deadgirl is a movie that has shook the nation, shook the world. It was an indie feature film that really pushed the boundaries. I mean, when you're doing an indie film, there's a couple of ways that you could go about doing it. The worst thing you could do is just be boring. And yeah, this isn't boring. Essentially, this is a story about these kids who are coming of age. It is a coming of age tale, probably one of the most fucked up coming of age tales, but I can kind of relate to these characters in a way, because when I grew up with some pretty fucked up individuals around me during my high school years. They really never really showed this kind of stuff in that time. And the 2000s really kind of showed you the underbelly, sometimes overdoing it a little bit. And yeah, we all had friends that were really fucked up, and we grew up and probably moved away from a lot of those people because they were just a little unsound, you know? We grew up, we got older, we didn't really need it. This is essentially that story about the two different versions of yourself, that one is like, hey, I want to be a good person. The other one's like, fuck the world. Kiss my asshole. The whole world's just fucking shit. And, like that's the kind of behavior JT performs, and Ricky's kind of like on the other end, but they're both trying to fit into a world that they feel they don't belong. So, there's two ways you could go with that. And this is that story, that telling, by putting these kids in a really disgusting situation with a corpse that, when you're a child, you have these thoughts. I mean, these are 17-year-old kids. So you have these like needs and, sexual thoughts and things. And so they're kind of jamming that into one movie to tell this one story. But yeah, it does have some pretty unyielding moments in the film. Is there sex? Yes, but not like, it's not pornographic. They're not showing you like, it's mostly just intended, like you see a shot from behind somebody, but you see the overall picture of it, just not up close. So you don't really see that many up close parts. But yeah, there is a nude woman that is laying strapped to a table a lot of the times, or a wall or whatever. And it has some pretty shocking imagery. A lot of people were really upset about this movie when it came out because they thought it was advocating for, And no, it definitely was not. Trent Haga actually says in the extras in this movie that he doesn't believe how anybody could come up with that idea. He said, yeah, it's messed up, it's dark, but you're supposed to kind of punch through the atmosphere when you're trying to make gold. You have to like use stuff that really sticks out that's very different. And I would say that this is a very different story. Like I said, never seen a coming of age story like this one. And I never fucked a corpse, so I'm pretty sure that that's not a normal thing. But is she a corpse or is she alive? We don't know. This story kind of gets on and tells more and gets deeper and more messed up as the two friends sort of quarrel with each other. There's some pretty wild imagery in this movie. It kind of wallows in some of the dark, dirty, corpuscular nastiness. It's pretty gross in some respects, but in the same respect, it is kind of like interesting how they kind of balance this story out, because on one hand, it feels like a sort of mainstream indie with this like really shocky kind of story that balanced together really kind of makes for an interesting story. And supposedly the producer of this did Hellraiser and Heathers, as it said on the back here. It says every generation has its story about the horror of growing up. I bet you this is some story, huh? No, but Unearthed put it out, of course. It's got a lot of really wonderful extras in it. I think it's a fantastic indie film. I think it's underrated for some that just look at it as like some sort of obligatory shock piece. And yeah, it's shocking, but it's not like that bad. It is definitely tolerable. It's just an uncomfortable feeling watching this movie in this situation unfold. And as JT wants to get popularity and becomes unhinged, these performances are pretty wild. You get Shiloh Fernandez, who, this is before he actually was the sister of Jane Levy in Evil Dead. He plays David in that movie. And this is also Noah Sagan, who is really young in this performance. He's gone on to do a ton of other stuff, including drama horror called Blood Relatives that was actually kind of funny, about him being a vampire, which is really cool. So, but he's done a lot of stuff, and they've both grown up to be pretty popular. I think Shiloh Fernandez has gone on to do a lot of like westerns recently. I don't know, that's just something he's been doing. But yeah, their performances in this are a little, some people say they're not as good. Essentially, JT's character is really pushing the boundaries. I mean, he's an edgelord, okay? So think about edgelords online and how they're trying to impress everybody all the time. That's JT. And yeah, it's cringy. It's supposed to be cringy. He even says that he intentionally wanted that character to be like that so that you would feel that he is cringy. So yeah, I had a friend that said that and I was like, I think that's how he's supposed to be, really. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fun performance by Noah for sure. He is disgusting and dark, and for such a nice guy in real life, you got to say he's done a really good job. Where this ends up in this movie and how things kind of unfold, it just keeps getting more interesting and more interesting as it goes on. It's not so much just about fucking anymore, you know what I mean? Or this other thing that you might think it is. But yeah, obviously, trigger warning. There are some things in the movie that are going to be a little triggering, I'm sure, but they weren't intended to be, to glorify anything. It's more of like just how fucked up kids actually are and just how fucked up growing up is in this day and age. And yeah, obviously the 2000s really pushed that limit very hard, because the 2000s were all about extreme. But yeah, I really enjoy this. I'd probably give it a 7.5 or an 8 even out of 10. It's wild that this kind of movie can make me or other people interested, and I think it's underrated. And if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. What's crazy too about this one is that I forgot to mention is that this is the movie that, it's called Deadgirl, and there's this band, it's a metal band called Acid Bath, which I'm sure most of you metalheads are probably know of or fans fans of, like myself. And Deadgirl is one of those songs that has like echoed like blood inside your head. But yeah, so they didn't use that in this movie. So one of my friends pointed that out to me today. And I thought it was really cool. So, but yeah, pick this up if you can. It's out right now. All the links are down below. But now we're going to go over through the ingredients of this movie. There are some fun things that are in the extras and a little bit of extra stuff that you get with this release. You can pick this up, by the way, for pretty cheap. I think it's like 20 to 25 bucks. 15th anniversary with this cover and everything. You can pick it up from Diabolic DVD, Unearthed, where it comes from. You can go to MVD Entertainment, Amazon, wherever. I'll put all the links down below for you, but let's get into it. So yeah, obviously we have the slipcover here, which, you know, is pretty cool. I kept the plastic on just to keep it nice, even though it's got a hole drilled in the back, but you know, that's how it goes. Review copies, but that's the back. We got this other cover here on the front, which I really like too. Some of the artwork for this, very cool. And with her eyes rolled back, a lot of the times when you see the girl who acts in this, she's really checked out in a lot of ways. So it's like kind of ultra creepy in that regard, but she's also kind of cognizant and evil and dark. So it's like, you just don't know. You don't know where she's coming from. But yeah, so this is the release. Here's the side. Here's the back again. It's the same as the other one. This is the disc scene from the movie with Shiloh. Obviously, you get the underside here, which is the same cover, but with the same back. So if you don't get that copy in time, I think it's limited to the first however many. Let's go over the extras in here. I actually watched all of them. Well, most all of them. So you're going to get a new interview with co-director Gadi Harrell, a new interview with writer Trent Haga, which both of those are really interesting, but it was a little bit more interesting to hear what Trent Haga had to say, because this was a movie that was an idea he had from like the beginning of 2000, and it didn't get made until 2008 because everybody kept turning it down. You know, Gadi Harrell and the Marcel decided they wanted to do it. So we got a new interview with actor Noah Sagan, which was really fun. New interview with actor Shiloh Fernandez. We got a new interview with the special makeup effects artist and designer Jim Ojala, who also comes from Troma and had worked with Trent Haga, so it's kind of like, you know, they're all working together again. You know, they got new behind the scenes gallery, a new extended makeup effects gallery. There's audio commentary with the cast and crew. That's an older commentary, by the way. There's also an audio commentary by actor Jenny Spain, who plays the dead girl in the movie. Also, there's a short documentary, it's about 8 minutes long, called Exquisite Corpse: The Making of Deadgirl. And we also get Jenny Spain's audition, which it shows her kind of performing like a zombie in a way, but in her own unique special way. So it's like the tryout tape. We also get the deleted scenes, promotional stills and gallery. There is a theatrical trailer, and this is something that I thought was really cool. You get a PDF BD-ROM. So when you say BD-ROM, I think of sticking it in the computer, but you can watch it on the TV. You get the script for the movie that they shot here, and you get the script for Deadgirl 2. That's right. I checked it out. It's about a 10-minute long thing, but you just pause it and read every page until it goes to the next page. I always thought that they could do like a Dead Boy, you know, sequel where it's like you follow like one of the guys or something like that. The spiritual successor to it in some ways. My friend Nicole Marie McCord, shout out, by the way, she's a great artist. She said that, you know, Contracted is like a really good pair up with this movie, and they made a sequel to that one as well, but it almost feels like where the Contracted movie starts is where this one ends in a way. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see that you can check out that there is actually a Deadgirl 2 script. So definitely cool to check out. Now this is going to be in aspect ratio 2:35:1. This is obviously the 101 minute, the unrated director's cut version. Comes in 5.1 and 2.0 mono, so you have both. And there's English subtitles and SDH. So thank you so much for sending this out to me, MVD Entertainment. Check this out, guys, if you haven't already. Definitely let me know what you think. Have you seen this film? Do you like this film? Do you hate this film? I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. But thank you so much for coming by this Voidtober. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for all the support, the likes, the shares, all of that. This really goes to help out a lot. We've gotten a lot of support this month for Halloween. I hope you guys are having an amazing Halloween. We've got a new episode up this week that has 2 movies, or my favorite, that are on Shudder that you should check out. So give that a listen to on the podcast, and be on the lookout for more videos because we got a lot more coming. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the boys.